Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. On today's show, MicroStrategy now holds 450,000 Bitcoin after acquiring 243 million worth of BTC in the last purchase just today. Bitcoin adoption is outpacing the internet and mobile phones, as per BlackRock. And the feature story today is U.S. banks can hold BTC and crypto under incoming Trump executive order, a report says. And later in our Ask AI segment, we're going to compare Grok and Chat GPT in creating images, and we're actually going to work through on creating a prompt for these images, and I'll show you guys what you need to do to register for these accounts. I had a couple people asking, so we'll go with that. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome, crypto fans. I'm your host, Nick Toka, and you have reached Crypto News Global. Today is January 13th, 2025. Bitcoin had a bit of a tumble early this morning and now is back up in the green, almost recovering its losses for the day. Call it a bit of a dump and pump today. And what we're going to be doing today is I had a couple of requests on some good feedback saying, hey, I love the photographs you did comparing Grok and Chat GPT, but how do you actually do it? So we're going to go through creating some prompts for it. I'm also going to go through how to gain access to these AIs. It really is easy. You guys will enjoy it. And right now, let's get into our market watch and Bitcoin technical analysis. We've got our Coin 360, and you see that Bitcoin right now is just under 95,000 US, but certainly it was down quite a bit earlier today. Down to about 90K, but it found its resistance and people bought back in, and it's back at 95,000 and currently sideways, 94,907. Solana at 183.47, down to 1.5%. Ethereum 3160, down 3%. XRP, haven't seen a down day in a while for XRP at $2.50, and Doge at 34 cents US. Let's go into our crypto market cap, and Bitcoin currently at $1.88 trillion, followed by Ethereum at 381 billion, XRP 145 billion, Tether hasn't moved at 137 billion, followed by BNB, Solana, Doge, USDC, Cardano, and Tron at 19 billion to wrap up the top 10. And into our total market cap for the crypto industry, right now it is at 3.21 trillion, with Bitcoin at 58% dominance, followed by Ethereum down again. Ethereum now into the 11s, 11.86% dominance in the crypto industry market, and XRP up a tiny bit at 4.52% of the global market. And let's get into our crypto bubbles for today, and we're seeing about 50%, half and half, and the altcoins again seem to be strong movers, with the fart coin back up, XMR up a couple percent, AI16Z up 4.5%, Doge up 2.5%, about half and half. Let's zoom out to the week, and it's like a blood red bath here for the week. AI16Z down 50%, Rune down 35%, Near down 20%. Let's zoom out a little to the monthly, and we've got Fartcoin doing pretty well for the month And also the other alt, AI16Z, Z 45%, BGB up 111%, Move up 42%, GT up 30%. Let's go into our crypto fear and greed index today at a 63 in greed. Yesterday was 61, and last week in just below extreme greed, a 78. And we've got 1,224 days until the next Bitcoin halving, with 1,190,160 Bitcoin left to mine until the year 2140. And until the next halving in approximately 2028, we've got 170,851 coins left to mine. Into our global market cap watch, no change here. Bitcoin still at 7th spot at 1.874 trillion. Just above Saudi, Aramco, Silver, Meta, Tesla, and the top guys are still Gold, Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. Nothing's changed there, with gold market cap at 18 trillion and everything else down 3.5 trillion, lower than that. And currently you can get 1,041 Satoshis for $1. And into our daily U.S. National Debt Watch, we've got the U.S. National Debt at 36,347,870,000,000 and change. And that's up approximately 7 billion from yesterday. And our debt per citizen is just under 107,000 U.S. per citizen, and per taxpayer at $323,045. So, we've got some really interesting stories today, and we're going to dig right into it. I think you're going to like what we've got today. We've got MicroStrategy. Let's jump right in to another purchase. It seems like every Monday, MicroStrategy and their CEO, Michael Saylor, is buying more and buying more, and I don't blame them. MicroStrategy now holds 450,000 BTC exactly after their latest acquisition of 243 million worth of Bitcoin in the last purchase, which was today. Saylor's MicroStrategy is at it again, adding another 2,325.30 Bitcoin to its digital treasury trove, according to a new post on the social media platform by X. Michael Saylor himself, the software development company, holds now 450,000 Bitcoin valued at $28 billion. They acquired another 2530 Bitcoin for 243 million at 95,000, just under 96,000 per Bitcoin, and they've achieved a yield of 0.32 year to date in 2025. And we hodl 450,000 Bitcoin acquired for 28 billion at 62,000 per Bitcoin. That's their average cost. So they are at 95,000 right now. So they're up 30,000 times 450,000 Bitcoin. They're up quite a chunk. Last week MicroStrategy announced $2 billion fundraising plan to purchase more BTC. The firm says its planned capital raise, slated for the first 3 months of the year, may or may not go ahead depending on market conditions. We talked about this before. They're going to issue more stocks and in order to raise more money to buy more Bitcoin. Let's move into our next story of the day. And Bitcoin adoption is outpacing the internet and mobile phones. BlackRock also advocated Bitcoin exposure through its spot ETF, IBIT, as it deems direct exposure complex for many, which it's not really. They just want you to, buy their IBIT. Bitcoin adoption is outpacing the transformative technology of the past, including the internet and mobile phones, according to a recent report by BlackRock. And I believe it. The document highlighted that since its launch in 2009, Bitcoin has quickly evolved from a niche innovation to a globally recognized asset. It attributed the evolution of a demographic trends, economic shifts, and the ongoing digital transformation of finance. Younger generations, often referred to as digital natives, are significantly more inclined to embrace Bitcoin compared to Gen X and baby boomers. Those old farts? Their comfort with technology and a preference for digital-first solutions have positioned them as the leading demographic in crypto adoption. Regarding economic shifts, trends such as rising inflation, geopolitical tensions, and concerns over traditional banking systems have highlighted Bitcoin's value as a decentralized asset. It added that in uncertain times, Bitcoin's independence from central authorities has resonated with investors worldwide. Damn straight. The third driver is the maturation of digital asset infrastructure, which has lowered Bitcoin's barriers to entry while creating new use cases. As global economy digitizes, BTC is becoming integral to evolving financial landscape. Yes, indeed. The more it's allowed, the more people are going to get into it, the more mainstream it's going to get. And I've always said, when your aunt calls you and says, "Hey, did you hear about Bitcoin? Tell me how to buy some Bitcoin," that's generally the time to get out. When nobody's talking about it, that's the time to get in. You want to buy low, and when it's in the news and the price is high, that's probably about your exit point. Advocating for IBIT. The document also advocates using BlackRock's spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund, IBIT, to gain exposure to BTC. The asset manager argued while Bitcoin's adoption grows, direct investment in BTC remains complex for many. Yada, yada, yada. You know what? I'm not going to even read that because this is turning into a advertisement for BlackRock. I would suggest personally that you go through the difficulty and you self-custody or go through one of the exchanges. Now, having said that, what the ETFs are good for is if you have a tax advantage account or a TFSA in Canada, and you basically can put any investment you want in there and you won't get taxed on it. So if you want to go that route, or if you're an organization and that's the only way you can actually put Bitcoin on your books, so you can add it to your tax policy, if the price goes up, it's capital gain. If the price goes down, it's capital losses. Then by all means, that might be the only choice you have, is to actually go into the ETF. I would recommend, out of all the ETFs, I would go with Fidelity, because Fidelity, all the other ETFs in the US use Coinbase as their custodian, but Fidelity is the only one that actually keeps them in cold storage on your behalf. So they're actually, you're buying the Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin that Fidelity has is in a cold wallet. So I would go with them. I know BlackRock, Yahoo, biggest, best, all this, but they're just using Coinbase. So if you don't need to, for taxation purposes, or to shelter yourself from taxes, then go to Coinbase yourself and get it. But if you're into that position where you want to shelter yourself for tax purposes, then certainly the ETF's a good position. And again, I'd recommend Fidelity because they're the only ones that keep it in cold storage for you. Let's move on to our next story of the day. U.S. banks can hold Bitcoin and crypto under incoming Trump executive order. Yeah, baby. See, we're going to start getting more and more news. We have 7 days until Trump's inauguration. President-elect Trump will issue an executive order effectively allowing banks and financial institutions to hold BTC and crypto assets on behalf of their clients, according to a new report. Now, it makes me think that this is actually why Bitcoin pumped again after the drop this morning. The incoming order will reserve a regulatory guideline that has shaped how financial institutions account for and custody digital assets, reports the Washington Post. Trump is expected to issue executive orders on the first day of his presidency that may address issues including debunking and the repeal of a controversial crypto accounting policy requiring banks holding digital assets to count them as liabilities on the bank's own balance sheet, according to a person involved with the conversations. The expected executive order is designed to reverse SAB 121, an SEC guideline that requires certain financial entities to list even the crypto assets they hold on behalf of customers as liabilities. What a sham the SEC was pulling there. Crypto proponents say the guideline blocks financial institutions' ability to enter the digital asset arena. A bill aiming to eliminate SAB 121 recently passed both the House and the Senate, but President Biden vetoed the bill. Asshole. So what that basically means in layman's terms is if a bank was going to hold your crypto, they would have to put it on their books. Even if it's your crypto, they would have to add it to their asset or liability, their taxation. So the banks were basically saying, no, we're not going to hold your crypto because then it goes on our books. And that's what this SAB 121 did, which SEC Gensler and the crew there instituted. And it looks like Trump will be repealing this bill. So that's actually excellent news. Now, every week we go through and we change the book of the week. So the book of the week this week is The Fastlane Millionaire by M.J. Demarco. Now, I've read this book multiple times, probably 5 times, I would say. And it's an amazing book. I love the way it's written. It's fun. And out of all the finance books, this guy really tells you how to get into the fast lane and make money fast. And we're not talking thousands. We're talking many millions. He tells you how he did it. He goes through his story from living in his mom's basement to driving, multiple Lamborghinis now, living in the hills in Arizona in a 10 or 15 bedroom mansion, and basically not worrying, not working, and letting his hard work pay off for him and continue to make him money, and to do it in the fast lane. And he jokes around, and there's basically the sidewalkers, there's the slow lane, and there's the fast lane. And he tells you what all three are. You can kind of put yourself into the category. Most people are in the slow lane or on the sidewalk, but he definitely teaches you how to go into the fast lane. Great book. The audio book is amazing. I love the way he talks. He's pretty funny. So I have links to this book in the comments section, notes section of the YouTube. And I have, of course, a link to this, which is his own bookstore. I have links to YouTube if you want to watch the audiobook, and Amazon. So I would 100% take a look at this thing. At least give it a listen on YouTube. It's there for free. And one thing is, I find it interesting, this book, it's weird the way it starts. If you start at minute 0, it's actually already chapter like 30 or something. You have to start the audiobook at time 9 hours 11 minutes, and that's actually chapter 1. It's 9:11, I believe, is pretty much easy way to remember it. Amazing book, you'll never forget, and I guarantee if it doesn't make you a fast lane multi-millionaire in a hurry, it'll at least change your mindset into thinking so. And I think that's the basis of this book. Is he really cares and he really wants to help people. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites, and I could listen to it multiple times, and I feel like I haven't even if I watch it, listen to it a bunch of times, or read it a bunch of times, there's still parts of it that I'm like, oh yeah, I missed that part. So it's helpful. He really wants to help you and the whole world get out of this rut. He's not talking about saving every penny until you're 65. No, he's telling you the exact opposite. He's do it when you're young, make your money, get out in a big liquidation event, start your business, and do it yourself, because the top guy who is making the money, and if you're anyone else except the founder, you're basically taking the scraps and you're making the money for the top guy. He's nobody special, just a normal dude, but he wasn't going to take no for an answer, and he kept moving and moving until he got into the fast lane. Let's move on now to our Grok versus Chat GPT in our segment Ask AI. And I had some feedback, really high level stuff like, that's amazing, I love those pictures, but how did you do it? Where do you get access to this? So for starters, you need an account for Grok. You need to just go to x.com or on your phone, X, formerly Twitter, open an account, and then on the left-hand side, even in the app, you'll look for this icon that basically says Grok on it, this XI thing. Once you get there, you can type in your prompt, and away you go. You can ask for information, you can ask for photos, a multitude of different things. And certainly, even if you asked, AI, what types of things can you do for me, it'll come out with a list too. Or you could Google what types of things. You can go through. Man, you can pretty much do anything nowadays on these AIs. You can create images, you can create entire web pages in seconds, you can create your own AI, you can create flowcharts, you can create project management charts, you can create resumes, you can create recruiters can create job orders, whatever you can dream of, you can pretty much ask it to do. So on the ChatGPT side, it's a similar thing. You just need to go to chatgpt.com, or actually it's OpenAI. Everybody knows just ChatGPT, but the actual company is OpenAI, which stands for Open Source Artificial Intelligence. And create an account there. Again, you can create the free account and you're ready to fly. You see, I create some pretty damn good things, and I create as many as I can on the ChatGPT side. Every day on the free account, you are allotted 3 free images. On the Grok side, I've yet to come to a limit. I was reading it's like 120 images a day, but I haven't yet hit that threshold. I mean, the most I've done is 12 or 16, and it seems to keep going. So there's the where. Now the how. So in the prompt area, the little flashing vertical line, you need to basically type your prompt. So the more detail you put in there, I've said it 100 times, the more detail you're going to get out. So before you even start typing, what you want to do is consider what you want. If you get it in your head what you want first, then you'll have a better chance of typing out something a little more exact, and with that exactness you will get an output of what you want. So people are saying the images are cool. Now, I use it for productivity as well, but let's go with the cool factor, and the cool factor is images. So we're going to create a prompt, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it in Grok and in ChatGPT and see what we get. But let's go through and create this prompt together. Normally, to save time, I have been just creating it in a minute or two myself, and then just, when I get on live here, I just kind of read it out. So you get a gauge of what I wrote, but let's do it together. So let's try and recreate this gorgeous silver model here that's in the universe. I love this one that it spit out for me a little while back. Just a beautiful representation. So let's start. So generate an image in portrait orientation. Let's change that to landscape. So it's like a widescreen instead of a tall and skinny. Landscape orientation. And then you could even put the pixels in there if you really wanted. I'm not going to put it in. A landscape orientation of the most beautiful woman the world has ever placed their eyes on. So instead of just saying a beautiful woman, I'm saying make this the most beautiful woman the world has ever placed their eyes on. I find if you over exaggerate, that's when these large language models really start to comprehend. It's not, they won't just, generate a beautiful woman. They'll generate, a bombastic, like, babe straight out of the magazines. So let's start with that. Generate an image in landscape orientation of the most beautiful woman the world has ever placed their eyes on. The woman should be the focus of this image, but additionally, she should be in the midst of outer space with the Milky Way and multiple galaxies in the background. Generate the image in the most vibrant colors possible. Okay, you see how we've got our basic thing here. We can keep going on and on and on, and I would suggest that if I were you and I wanted this kick-ass image, I would write more. We're in a bit of a time crunch, so I don't want to go too far for it with it, and so we are going to take this and we're going to also paste it into Chat GPT because we want to compare the two. And let's read the whole thing before we enter on it. Generate an image in landscape orientation of the most beautiful woman the world has ever placed their eyes on. The woman should be the focus of this image, but additionally, she should be in the midst of outer space with the Milky Way and multiple galaxies in the background. Generate the image in the most vibrant colors possible. Woman should be the focus of this image, and a full body view is desired. So I'm basically saying, don't just give me a headshot. With body view is desired, with the most amazing athletic body. But additionally, she should be in the midst of outer space with the Milky Way and multiple galaxies in the background. Generate the image in the most vibrant colors possible. All right, so I'm going to use that as our final. Again, if it was me and I wasn't in this time crunch, I would add a lot more. So let's hit go on both of these things. So we've got Grok on the left, Chat GPT on the right, and let's see what comes out of it. All right, and Chat GPT came out with an error. I encountered issues generating the requested image. Unfortunately, it couldn't be completed due to an error during the process. Let me know if you'd like to modify the request again. And I'm just going to write, try to generate the image again, please. And I have encountered this kind of thing with Chat GPT before. So here we are with our Grok images. And not bad. We could have talked a little more about, and see, it also came back with error again. So that's not a, it's a bit of a knock on ChatGPT today. I have had that before, and I have found that pretty much closing it and reopening it has fixed it. And I've also found that it's a problem with ChatGPT that often happens, and you know, the next day they'll come out with like an update, and it'll say, please update your, you know, ChatGPT. So let's see what we've got here with Grok. So right off the hop, I mean, that's pretty funky, right? The outfit, amazing. The outfit here, amazing. The outfit here, a little, you know, like you're going to the gym. The background's gorgeous on this one. And we've got another pretty funky outfit here. So let's then change it a bit, because you know, in a silver bodysuit, because I like the top left, I would say, in terms of the clothing. And while we wait for that, I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm actually going to just close it down, because I'd like to get a real image out of this at some point. And, well, it still isn't really doing much, so I'm going to try and force quit it by finding it in my task manager. ChatGPT, it says there's 5 sessions open, so we're going to just close them all. Now I'm going to rerun it. And on the left, in the meantime, those aren't really jumpsuits, but you know, it'll get the blood flowing, I suppose. The background is better. It's adapted it a bit. This is looking pretty damn fine here. Very, very cool background. That's a little more like what I was looking for. This shiny thing is, you know, interesting. This is a little more lifelike. Again, I didn't say bikinis or bathing suits. I did say jumpsuit. Here, in a golden bodysuit, floating amongst stars. I like how it gives you the tips in term, at least on Grok. So let's go floating amongst stars and see what we get. And then at the same time, I'm going to copy out our prompt. So I've got ChatGPT. I basically killed all the processes, and I'm going to type it in again and see what we get. Again, we don't necessarily see any kind of jumpsuits. I don't like that I even had to tell it about a jumpsuit. But is that the AI's fault, or is it the fact that we didn't actually give it directions on what they should be wearing? We just talked about beautiful, beautiful, and all this. So let's, in a long, flowing, transparent, red. Yeah, we'll go red dress. How's that? Let's see what it comes back with. Now, Chat GPT did come back with an image, and I'm not that impressed with. This looks like, because we use the term physically fit, it came back with, I don't know exactly, some sci-fi video game warrior. So I'm going to say, without going too far with this, here we are, floating in space looks, but they did get the dresses right. Red, well, that's not long and flowing, that's short and slutty, but anyway, this is probably the best we got out of the 4. Chat GPT didn't. I'm not liking this today. So I would say that Grok is the clear winner here. Number one, they came out with images right off the hop. There was no BS. It just came up. We said create these images like this. It did it. They weren't perfect, but it did give us a chance to change it. And, out of the, look, what do we do? 4, 8, 12, 16 of them. Probably, this one's worth keeping, and maybe 1 or 2 of these. But the fact is, there's so many choices, and you're getting all this for free. Look, 16 pictures to choose from. And then on ChatGPT, I don't want to waste my 3 shots a day. I use those. So I'm going to stop right here. I don't like the way it turned out. It's just, this doesn't look human. That's it. The other ones, as much as the background is pretty cool on ChatGPT, it's so far removed from what I was hoping, which was something more like, this look, which is just unbelievable. Instead, we got, some creepy fantasy G.I. Joe or something like, anyway. So I'm going to give the nod to Grok today. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit on the basics of how to get these images generated. It's not rocket science. You just type in what you want. More detail. If I had more time here, we could definitely refine that prompt and refine it again or refine it again. And in terms of GPT, the Chat GPT, I wouldn't even send it to ChatGPT until you had it written to a T, exactly what you want. As we see, we would have to have more detail in there about how we want the person to look, the clothes they're wearing. This is more than athletic. This is World Bodybuilder Championship, which it's beyond the point where it's attractive. On the other hand, the Grok images kind of didn't really go that route. I don't see much muscle, but they're definitely fit and athletic. If you look close, I guess there's a bit of tricep, and the legs look fit. And so it got a better handle on that part. And I would say overall, Grok would be the way. Next time, we're going to go away from this, creepiness that I don't understand where this spread eagle down here. We didn't ask it to do any of this, and that's not a long flowing dress. That's like borderline, soft porn. Regardless, we can keep going. Keep creating more, keep creating more, keep creating more. Look, in a golden gown. We just keep clicking. And if you really want, you can just choose their recommendations and just keep clicking the next one and the next one and the next one. While it's generating images there, I just want to say in closing, guys, I say this every day, that money is abundant and money is everywhere, and it's time that's scarce. So use your time wisely. Spend less than what you earn. And if you suddenly make more, save more, invest more. Don't spend more. And start saving today in your 20s. Start saving when you're young. You should be able to retire when you're 40 and not when you're 60, 70, 80, when you can't afford to, when you can afford everything, but you can't afford it body-wise. You're not healthy enough to do the things you love. And if you have a great idea, then by all means go ahead and start your idea today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes if you keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Start today, muck it up, get out there and fail, and then you'll learn from that mistake. And the next time you'll do it better and better and better. And before you know it, your great idea will finally come to fruition for you. If you found this stream enjoyable, please share, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next stream, folks.